didn't feel anything at all. The quiche began to turn golden. The cheese had melted and bubbled like lava. She glanced out the window and saw Karsten as he pulled into the driveway in his red Honda SUV. The table was set, the china old and dignified, in each glass a white napkin opened like a fan. She switched on the lights, stepped back and tilted her head, evaluating the result. She hoped her husband would see that she'd gone out of her way, that she always went out of her way. She smoothed her skirt and ran her hands through her hair. Other couples fight, she thought. Other couples divorce. But that won't happen to us. We know better. We understand that love is a plant that requires tender care. Some people spread all this rubbish about being blinded by love, but she'd never understood as much as she did now, had never had this insight, had never had such clarity of vision or such uncompromising values. She went into the bathroom and brushed her hair. The excitement of her husband's return, the oven's heat and the low July sunlight spilling into the room made her cheeks flush and her eyes sparkle. When he stepped into the kitchen, she was ready with a bottle of Faris mineral water and a slight, elegant tilt to her hips. He carried a stack of post, she noticed, newspapers and a few window envelopes. He set them on the worktop, then went to the oven and squatted down, peering through the glass. "It looks delicious," he said. "Is it ready?" "Probably," she replied. "Magrietta is sleeping in the pram. She slept quite a while. Maybe we should wake her, otherwise it'll be hard getting her to sleep tonight." She reconsidered, cocked her head and looked at her husband through full black eyelashes. "Or maybe we can wait until after dinner, so we can have a little peace while we eat." "Chicken and chanterelle," she said, nodding at the oven. She slipped on a pair of oven gloves, removed the quiche and set it down on a cooling rack. It was burning hot. "She'll certainly forgive us," her husband said. His voice was deep and gravelly. He stood at his full height, put his arms around her waist and escorted her across the room. They both laughed because she was wearing the oven gloves. He had that look she loved so much, that teasing look she could never resist. Now he led her into the lounge, past the dining table to the sofa. "Karsten," she whispered, but it was a weak protest. She felt like dough between his hands. She felt kneaded and rolled and poked with a fork. "Lily," he whispered, mimicking her voice. They fell together onto the sofa. They didn't hear a peep out of the child beneath the tree. Afterwards, they ate in silence. He said nothing about the meal or about the table that had been so beautifully set, but he continued to look at her with approval. "Lily," the eyes said, "the things you do." She had green eyes, large and clear. Because she wanted to stay thin, she tried not to eat too much, even though the quiche was delicious. Karsten was also thin. His thighs were rock hard. A thick mane of dark hair, always a little too long in the back, made him look cheeky and attractive. She couldn't imagine him gaining weight and losing his shape or his hair, as many men did when they approached 40. She saw it happening to others, but it didn't apply to them. Nothing could sever what they had together, neither gravity nor the test of time. "Will you clear the table?" she asked when they had finished eating. "I'll get Magrietta." Immediately he began to collect the plates and glasses. He was quick and a tad abrupt in his movements, clacking the porcelain between his fingers, and she held her breath. She'd inherited it from her grandmother. She went into the hallway to put on her shoes. She opened the door to the warmth of the sun, the mild, gentle breeze, and the smells from the grass and forest. Then she rounded the corner of the house and walked towards the maple. A terrible foreboding came over her. She had shut Magrietta out of her mind. She moved faster now, to make up for what she'd done. Something about the pram was strange, she thought. It was right where she'd put it, near the trunk of the maple, but the blanket was crumpled. There's so much activity in these little ones, she thought, as she fought her terror, because now she saw the blood. When she pulled the blanket off, she froze. Magrietta was covered in blood. Lily fell to the ground, lay there, writhing, unable to get up.